Hey guys, this is the episode 3 of the podcast Beyond the Peel, your journey to self transformation. So, today I'm going to be talking about our private lives. So, what is a private life if you've not heard of it? So, private life are the experiences that you have when there's no one around you. As the name says, it's very private to you. So, when you're sitting alone, what are the type of thoughts you have? What do you usually think? Do you think about your past? Do you think in the past, this incident happened? I didn't really like it. I regret that it happened. I regret not participating in it. Maybe I could have said something else and, it could have been a little different. And you just go into that loop of overthinking. You are stressed by thinking about your past. There could be some happy experiences that you've had in past, like you had a great group of friends and you were having a great time, and that's when you felt really happy from inside. Or maybe you made your parents really proud, your family was really appreciating you. So do you think about the past in general, or do you think about your present? When I say present, maybe something that is happening in your life. You're meeting a new person, you have just changed your job, you are maybe trying to solve a problem that you currently are in, right? Or you could be thinking about, just you are just processing your thoughts, your emotional processing is really happening. And because of that, you're going into a self reflection. Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Is there anything else that I can do? So do you live in your present, or do you live in your future, wherein you think about, what do I really want to do? What are my short term goals? What are my long term goals? What is it that makes me happy? Is it worth me spending my time on that? Is it worth me spending my money on that? Do you think about your future goals? Or maybe you could even just be daydreaming, right? Wherein ki, I want my life to look like this. Maybe you've seen a movie or something. Because I can say that I recently saw one series and I was really impressed by that home, and I was literally daydreaming, like I wish I really had that type of home, because I want to have a home, but I didn't really have a picture to it. And then when I saw that series, I was like, yes, this is something that I really want. You could be daydreaming as well. You could go into your lens of creativity, something that's not really happening now, something that has not happened in the past, but your imagination can go really wild and you could have a lot of creative thoughts. So your private life basically consists of thoughts you're having when you are sitting alone, when there is no noise around you, when there is no one directing your thoughts on, this is something that you should do. So that is what comprises of private thoughts. And it's really important for us to know, like, what are we actually giving the emphasis on? Are we giving the emphasis on what has happened in the past? Are we still living in our past, or are we giving emphasis on our present because we want to enjoy every moment? Or are we thinking about our future, right? So it's really important to know your thought process on where your state of mind is, right? So the way you think about something, either it is past, either it is present, or it is future, it is dependent on two things. So in my previous podcast I spoke a little bit about it. So the way you think, the way you feel about a particular situation, it depends on two things. One is your childhood experiences. Now for a situation, either in past, present, or future, you could be happy about that thing or you could be sad about that thing. For a particular situation, you could be excited or you could be anxious about that thing. So the way you feel about a particular situation, it really depends on your childhood experiences mixed with your personality. So I've spoken about this and given a couple of examples in my previous video. If you've not checked that video, I highly recommend that out. But it's important to know, why are we feeling the way we are feeling? What are the thoughts that we are having, right? Because that sort of self reflection, that self analysis is really going to be important for you if you really want to transform yourself. If you're happy in your state, you're like, I have achieved everything, now I don't need anything in my life. Everything that other people do, it doesn't impact me. Like, they have bought a new home, they have bought a new house, I don't really care, I'm happy with whatever I have. If you've reached that state of mind, that's awesome. But if you are in a place wherein you think ki yaar, kash mere paas bhi hota, but I don't know what to do, I am not capable of it, I am not sure what to do. If you are in that confused state of mind ki पता नहीं करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना है लेकिन कैसे करेंगे. So if you are in that state of mind and if you think that you really want to transform yourself, your life, then maybe it's really important to give preference to your private life. You have to give preference to what you're really thinking when you are alone, because you need to shift gears if you're not thinking right. Okay, so that is what a private life is. That is what it's really important to know how you are spending your time. Now, spending time, also called solitude, now there are multiple benefits to it. You can actually make really good use of this time, right? Many a times, I've seen people, they're like, when I'm sitting alone, maybe I'm watching a movie, or I am listening to music. So you are never really actually sitting alone with your thoughts. You're never listening to what's really happening inside of you. Don't put any music, don't put any movie, just be there in the moment and see what are the things that you really think about. And the reason I'm really emphasizing on that is because there are several benefits to being in solitude. There are several benefits to spending time with yourself, investing in yourself. Number one of them is self reflection, right? So, as I earlier mentioned, it's important to know why you are feeling the way you are feeling. It's important to know what is your personality, what is it that really attracts you, what is it that really annoys you. So it's important to know who you are, right? Even though our childhood experiences have made us into something, our own personality, when mixed with that, makes it feel something that we feel. And it's important to know what that personality is. So taking out time with yourself to self reflect on कि मेरे को क्या चीज़ अच्छी लगी, मेरे को क्या चीज़ बुरी लगी, मेरे को वो चीज़ बुरी क्यों लगी, बिकॉज दैट इज़ नॉट इन माई पर्सनैलिटी, दैट्स नॉट माई पर्सनैलिटी ट्रेट, राइट? So as an example, if I meet with some people, or if I am in a situation wherein people are passing comments, or ऐसे taunts मारते हैं indirectly, but on the face they are really smiling and they are really showing that they care, I don't like those people. That is my personality, right? Like, I hate fakeness. That is a trait of my personality. So when I self reflect, I know that these are the types of people I'm going to stay really away from you, क्योंकि वो मेरे अंदर कुछ ऐसी नर्व ट्रिगर कर देते हैं कि उसके बाद मेरे सारे थॉट्स नेगेटिव हो जाते हैं, राइट? सो आई हैव आइडेंटिफाइड कि दिस इज वन ट्रेट दैट आई रियली लाइक. On the other hand, I've also identified, based on different type of people I have been with, ki someone who is very pure from heart, someone who is doesn't mean ill of anyone. They are happy in their own state whenever they are, even though they are struggling their own battles. They are, when they are talking with someone, they don't really mean something bad for them. They are just in their purest form, in their nicest form. So with my experience of dealing with people, I've realized ki yeah, these are the type of people I want to surround with, because I get positive vibes from these people. So I want to stay away from people who give me negative vibes, and I want to be with people who give me positive vibes. And how did I come to know about all of this? Because when I sat down with my thoughts, I reflected ki what my personality is, what do I like, what do I not like, right? कुछ ऐसे experiences, कुछ ऐसे लोग. So if I really sit down and self reflect कि मुझे क्या अच्छा लगता है, क्या अच्छा नहीं लगता है, that is when I will know who am I. It's really important to know who you are, so that इन फ्यूचर, अभी अभी जैसे मुझे आइडेंटिफाई हो गया कि हाँ, ये लोग मुझे पसंद है, ये लोग मुझे नहीं पसंद है. इन फ्यूचर, इवन इफ आई गेट अ हिंट ऑफ those mean people, those people with negative vibes, I'll try to stay away from them, क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि हाँ, शुरू शुरू में ये ठीक लगेगा, we are talking normally, but then somewhere down the line it's going to have an emotional impact on me. So I try to stay away from those people. So it's important to do that sort of a self reflection. The another benefit of being in solitude is it reduces stress, because your emotional regulation is really happening. क्योंकि क्या होता है, I'll tell you with example. In past 1.5 or 2 years, I am in a situation wherein I'm not really happy about my job, as an example, because of some people, because of some situations. So yes, we are living our lives. I have to make money, because I have people who are dependent. I need to support the lifestyle I want. I am still doing that, but even when I'm doing that, there are a lot of instances in a day कि I'm feeling यार क्या I don't really like it, and someone passed that comment in a meeting, I didn't really like it. Someone was rude to me over a chat thread, I didn't really like it. Someone was not understanding me. They were just being partial, so I did not like it. Huh, obviously I'm still doing my job, but when I sit with myself, that's when I think ki, no, I didn't like this particular instance from my day. So I really, instead of going into overthinking mode, I say that I'll try to avoid being in this situation, and that basically reduces stress. So when I think about that situation, I think कि यार okay, मैं job कर रही हूँ, okay, so I need to do the job and I need to earn money. I cannot really leave the job because I have some liabilities and I cannot really leave it. The comment that was passed, does it really matter in the long run? Like maybe 3 years from now, yeah, 5 years from now, will it really matter? Do I have to be with that person? Do I really have to like that person to be able to do my job? So if I pose those sort of questions, तो मुझे आंसर मिलेगा नहीं यार, मुझे कौन सा उसके साथ रहना है. Like the 8 or 9 hours period that I am spending in my office with my colleagues doing my work, I can deal with whatever all these things are. I think those are part and parcel of every 9 to 5 job that you're working in. It's not just me, many people face it. But then when I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, ki, yeah, does it really matter? It's just something that I have to deal with for right now. So I'm like, ठीक है, ज़्यादा तो मैटर नहीं करता है. अगली बार जब वो सिचुएशन होगी, what will I do? I'll be like, ठीक है, अब एक बार बोल दिया, I'll ignore it. I'll try to avoid such situations. And अगर वो situation आ गई, I will go back to that thought of my mind कि यार, it doesn't impact my career as a whole, it doesn't impact my relationship with that person, because I'm not going to be probably talking with that person after I leave the company or 5 years from now. So in the bigger scheme of thing, it doesn't really matter. So why did it happen? Because I sat down with myself. ये जो जिंदगी की भागदौड़ में, we really need to sit down with ourselves, with our thoughts, and sort of take that in and process those emotions that we are having. And then as a result of it, I am little less stressed than I was before. Earlier क्या होता था, if I didn't really think through and I didn't really process that emotion, I was really overthinking. I was going into that negative energy of ki, yeah, people don't like me, I am never going to succeed. I really need the validation from this particular person who passed this comment. If this person is partial to me, my career is finished. I was going into that. But when I sat through myself and I saw the bigger scheme of things, I was like, no, it doesn't really matter. So it's really important to be in solitude and process the emotions that you're having, so that you are able to reduce the stress for yourself, right? The another example wherein the solitude is really going to help you is, it can enhance your creativity, it can improve your decision making skills, right? Maybe you are in a particular problem. Many a time what I have seen, so I work in IT industry, I work with a lot of developers, engineers, who the ones who code, right? So there are many situations wherein they need to solve a particular problem, कि ये कोड को हम क्या लिखेंगे कि ताकि ये end result आए. So many a times I have seen people come back after a few days and they have a solution. Why? Because they just paused for a moment and they let their creativity run wild. Obviously they did their own research, but at the same time they paused and they thought ki, maybe this is another way of solving a particular problem. It's not just the engineers. Even when I am doing my job, or maybe when I am making this podcast, or maybe when I am putting some content on Instagram, right? So at that time, I just think, many a times क्या होता है कि मुझे समझ में ही नहीं आता है कि यार मैं क्या करूं, कितना कुछ करने वाला है, बट मैं क्या करूं, मुझे पता ही नहीं है. So then what do? I shut down my laptop. Literally, this is something that I practice very often. I shut down my laptop. I do the household chores, कि मैं जैसे किचन में काम कर लेती हूँ, या फिर I just sit idle, whatever I do, जो normal household chores है. And that's when I think. And obviously I have kids, I don't really get the luxury of sitting for hours and thinking. Many people don't have that luxury. So it doesn't mean you cannot really spend time in solitude. You could be doing other works and you could still be thinking. I do it quite often. मैं जब kitchen में होती हूँ, so I do a lot of thinking. So that's when I think about a particular problem, and to my surprise I even come to a particular solution. जैसे मुझे पता है कि यार ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, वो भी करना है, but मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही कि मैं शुरू कहाँ से करूँ. So when I am in my thought, when I don't have my laptop screen open, क्योंकि laptop screen open होती है ना, so उसमें होता है कि यार मुझे फटाफट क्या टाइप करना है, वो मुझे मिलता ही नहीं, पहला वर्ड क्या टाइप करना है, आई डोंट नो. तो आई शट डाउन माई लैपटॉप स्क्रीन, आई डू माई वर्क, आइदर आई सिट इफ माई किड्स आर स्लीपिंग, और आई डू माई नॉर्मल वर्क, एंड आई एम लाइक कि ठीक है, अभी मेरे को लेट मी जस्ट थिंक कि आई कीप क्वेश्चनिंग माई सेल्फ कि हाँ इसके पहले ये था, इसके पहले ये था, and then somehow to my surprise I come to a solution. So our creativity really can flourish if we are with our own selves, and it can also result to good decision making, it can result to good problem solving skills also, right? The another benefit of being in solitude is independence. You have that self confidence. I know a lot of people who would never go to a restaurant alone, or would never go to a movie alone. I'm sure you also know. My husband is one of them. If he's watching this, he's going to kill me. He says like he cannot go alone to watch a movie or to a mall or to a restaurant or whatever. But on the other hand, I'm like, हाँ यार जा ही सकते हैं. In fact, I have gone before when I was working in Bangalore. तो एक बार I wanted to watch this movie and I didn't really have a company. पूछा मैंने लोगों को. Obviously, my first preference was कि I want to go with my friends क्योंकि it's a better experience. But कोई था नहीं, and I was like, I really want to watch the movie, and then I went alone. I mean, so when you spend time with yourself, when you really understand yourself, when you understand your thoughts, it boosts your self confidence. It boosts your independence. It gives you independence, right? So it's really important that you know yourself, you are comfortable in your own company. The another benefit that you have of solitude is it enhances deeper relationship with others. That's the beauty of being in solitude, or in general having a private life, is that when you are sitting through and you are relaxing your mind and you are really thinking about a particular situation, it's obviously about you first, but then in those situations, I gave you that office example wherein people were being mean to me, they were partial, they were passing comments, whatever. So what happened after I retrospective ki nahi yaar, doesn't matter, it doesn't matter in the long run. What happened, I was, instead of angry, which earlier I was angry with those people कि मैं तो इससे बात ही नहीं करूंगी, मैं इसको चैट ही नहीं करूंगी, मैं इससे कॉल भी नहीं करूंगी. But after that, what happened? I was like, doesn't matter. Like I was neutral. I reached that neutral state of mind. तो दूसरों के साथ relationships बनाने में it is really good, because when you sit back and think through that situation, you are really like कि हाँ maybe they were not trying to be mean क्योंकि वो situation ऐसी हो गई थी. So there could be lot of different things that can come out of you sitting and thinking about it. So yes, it has a positive impact on you, but it can also have a positive impact on relationships with other. You could take an example wherein you've had a fight with your spouse one day, and then you both are not talking to each other, you are angry, throwing things, whatever, you're just reacting to situation. And then when you sleep, and then obviously before sleeping you're thinking about कि यार ये क्या हो गया, and then you might realize कि maybe it was not his fault, or maybe it was not her fault. ये situation ही ऐसी हो गई थी, in the heat of the moment we argued and all of that. So then next day you would be neutral and you would be like ठीक है, it's fine. So what has really happened, as a person you have evolved, you have not neglected that emotion, you have not neglected the relationship with that person, you have accepted it and you have moved on. जिससे क्या होता है, the relationship between you gets deeper. So only when you are comfortable with yourself and with your thoughts and you know who you are, you can provide. वो बोलते हैं ना कि you cannot pour from an empty cup. So you have got to be fulfilled from within, so that you could have good relationships with other. So that is another very beautiful benefit of being in solitude. Now another, I'm just giving a lot of examples because all of these things are something that we all can relate with, right? Everyday ki cheezein hai, living with our parents, living with our spouses, being in office, all of these are very relatable things. The other example of benefit of being in solitude is it basically relaxes our mind, right? Kabhi aap try karna. So I'll tell you. So I have always been a person, at least last year tak, who was never in a favor of waking up early. I hate waking up, I hated waking up early. सो मैं लाइक कि यार छुट्टी तो मिलती, 2 दिन तो मिलते हैं, आई वॉन्ट टू रेस्ट, मुझे कोई मत उठाए। मेड आती है, वो मुझे चाय देगी, उसके बाद ही मैं उठूंगी, उसके पहले मुझे कोई मत बोलो। सो मी एंड माई हस्बैंड हैव दिस agreement ki 5 days of a week, 5 days of the week I'm going to be the one who's going to wake up early first in the house, and those 2 days I'm going to take for myself क्योंकि मुझे जल्दी नहीं उठना है. So somehow, because of a lot of changes in my life from past year, I have started waking up early. What do I do if I wake up early? I basically relax my mind. I am, spending time with myself. I try to meditate. I wouldn't say I'm a pro at all of that, but I am definitely learning. And you know what the good thing about it is? I am, what the good thing about this is, that I love doing it. Earlier, something that I never thought ki I'll wake up early on a Sunday. Today is a Sunday when I'm recording it. It is 9 a.m. and I'm recording it. I have been awake from past 4 hours. I never imagined I would be awake at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning. What is happening? I'm spending time with myself because I know कि 8-9 बजे जब मेरे बच्चे उठ जाएंगे, then I am all for them. I want some time for myself. I just took a leap of faith. Something happened in my life and I took a leap of faith. I'm like कि ठीक है, try कर लेते हैं. And now yesterday was Saturday, and for some reason my daughter didn't sleep the whole night, and I couldn't wake up at 5 a.m. because I was not sleeping the whole night. And when I woke up at 9 or 10 a.m., I don't remember, but आई फेल्ट रियली बैड कि यार वो जो टाइम था मेरा अपना प्राइवेट टाइम था, इट गॉट लॉस्ट, बट इट्स ओके, दैट वॉज वन डे. टुडे इज संडे एंड आई मेड श्योर that I wake up on this time. So I have started enjoying this time because those first 4 hours of the day, I am relaxing my mind. I am just being with myself, right? So it is a beautiful feeling to be in your private space and you to really enjoy that time, right? Because it's this time that I am having for myself. I am not thinking about my past, I'm thinking about my present, and I'm thinking about my future, right? So I have explained a lot about what the benefits of being in solitude are, how important is a private life, how important a private life is for an individual, why you should prioritize the private life. Now if at all you think कि हाँ मुझे पता है प्राइवेट लाइफ क्या होती है, पर मुझे पता ही नहीं क्या करना है, हाँ मैं फोन भी छोड़ दूंगी, टीवी भी छोड़ दूंगी, बट करना क्या है, लाइक सुबह उठ के करना क्या है. लाइक आई वॉज इन दिस सिचुएशन लास्ट ईयर कि हाँ मैं सुबह उठ के क्या ही करूंगी, लाइक व्हाई डू आई हैव टू वेक अप अर्ली. बट दीज फर्स्ट 4 hours ऑफ माई डे, दे आर माई प्राइवेट लाइफ. दोज आर द टाइम when what I spend with myself. Maybe for some other video I'll explain what do I really do in the mornings in those 4 hours. But that time is for myself, when people in my house are asleep and I am with my thoughts. I am doing things for myself, for my present, for my future. I feel really refreshed. My mind is so relaxed. I feel rejuvenated, and I just love that particular day. And if for some reason I cannot wake up early, I feel bad about it. I never really imagined me doing that. But yes, that is me. That is the first step of self transformation that I have really experienced in my life. So, just as a closing note, I'm just going to say that prioritize yourself. It's really important. Prioritize your mind, prioritize your body. You need to have that private life. You need to know what do you do to make that private life really beneficial for you. It's going to give you benefits tenfold or maybe hundredfold, or I don't know how many ever fold. It's going to be really beneficial for you if you are really in control of your mind and your body. You're going to see amazing results. All right, so do let me know in the comments below if you can relate to any of it, any of these things that I said, if this is something that you already do, but there was some light bulb moments along the way that oh yes, this is something like I can do in my private life as well, which I was not doing earlier. Or maybe you are just going to start anew after watching this video. Whatever it is, do let me know via comments. I would love to see what is the stage of life that you all currently are in, because I do, while I am growing myself as an individual, as I have been saying in my whole podcast series, I am on a self transformation journey. I want viewers and the people along with me to grow as well. I want you all to learn from as I am on this journey, so that you could transform your lives as well. So, with that, I am going to wind up the video. I'm going to see you all next week with an interesting topic again. Until then, see you. Bye bye.